I'm Juvan of the Crimson Knight Fleet, and today I'm doing a little video on how to make your own belt buckle. I'm going to be doing examples of the TOS belt buckle, but at the end of the video I will show you one of my TNG belt buckles and just elaborate on how I made that one. For this I'm going to use the foam. So it's a little bit more durable. I was going to use like the 1/4 inch, but I'm afraid that with going to cons that might bend it a little bit, and this has a little bit more spring to it. I feel like this one would bounce back from 8 hours of use, but 8 hours of use or 16 hours of use if you do it twice in a weekend or something like that. I feel like this would stand up a little bit better. I'm going to experiment with some other items to see how well they stand up. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try cardboard and some cheap ping pong balls that I got from the dollar store. I'm just going to cut them in half and I'm going to put them on a cardboard backing instead. And I'm going to try sealing up the cardboard with the cement glue or maybe regular glue just to see if it would work, and then paint it afterwards. And this is more just an experiment to see how it looks, just another option for you. I'm not trying to saw all the way through this one shot. I went around in a circle, and the other one I tried doing it, and I think part of the issue is that one, my line wasn't straight, and I think I ended up in a chunk that I didn't notice that hadn't been done yet. So I'm just kind of going around, and I'm turning enough that I'm half sawing into new stuff, and the blades, part of the blades just falling into the channel that I've already cut. And I'm getting about 1/3 of the way down the ball before I move on. Okay, so now I've made my way all the way around, so now I'm just going to gently saw down to almost all the way through. Okay, I'm almost all the way through. There we go. I'm almost all the way through. So again, I'm going to rotate the ball. And I'm going to saw through again. I'm not trying to force it because I think one of the issues the other time was that I forced it. And that's what caused it to break like it did. I feel cracking. That's a sign that it's almost done, that it just wants to break instead of cut. When you get to that, you just got to go slow. Make sure you pinch the sides together. You don't want the break, you want the cut. Oh, Seamus. Somebody's come to visit me. Balls and cut them. And you can see if we'll see if they're easier to cut. So I'm just gonna, there's a little hole in the top. And I'm just inserting the blade. I'm using my thumb on the flat part to push it in. Because after a while they start to come apart, and you might find that, you know, the rough edges from being cut are kind of pinching in you. You just gotta persevere. And it'll all be soon, over quick. So, they're not perfectly straight, but I definitely did a lot better with these than these. Whether because these were a little bit harder, the rubber, the flexible rubber can be hard to work with when you're pushing down. This worked out pretty well, so I'm going to do 2 more. So this might be just a bad idea in general. This is, I don't know if I can, you guys can quite see it. Let's see if I can, just kind of, I took that off by accident. These are going to be a little bit harder to get glue on. What I'm going to do, oh, these little wedge pieces should be good. I'm just going to lob a bit on here. And take one of these. I've never tried it with ping pongs before, so I guess we'll see how well this works. As you can see, there are a little bit of scrapes on it and stuff like that. The glue didn't quite dry. I was going to go scrape this off. I'm actually concerned about whether or not these would just pop off. My dog got to it. I left it out on the table to dry overnight so that I can see in the morning, well, the following afternoon, because I was working that day, to see how the glue took to it and see if I had to do some more or maybe fill it with like a wood fill or something like that. But clearly she got to it, and she is here right now sucking up after I got mad at her. So I am definitely a proponent of there are no mistakes in building armored. You just are making battle damage. This is a little battle damage for my liking. If she'd done less, I probably would have just rolled with it and kept on going. Even if all she did was tear off this ball, I could have glued another one back on. But she did a pretty good job to it, to the point where she did a pretty good job. Okay, so this is my ping pong foam belt buckle. Both of these were kind of made in a rush. I was just making them literally for this video. And for something that's just going to be sitting on your waist, I'm not too fussed about how it looked. I won't, as long as you just look at it and you see it, I'm fine with it. But I'm going to go over some of the mistakes I made. One, I should have used a sharper blade. If you look on, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe this. Nope, that is not the side. Oh, maybe this side. But when you're scoring and cutting the foam, if you have to make multiple passes to get through the entire sheet of foam, you're going to have lines on the side. I either should have just used a sharper blade. I should have broke it off and used a sharper blade, or B, I should have sanded it a little bit longer, a combination of both. I don't think I would ever personally wear this one. The Gorilla Glue seemed to work great, but I could have put more on it. I was trying to be sparing to prevent like the bubbling out that Gorilla Glue does. One of my concerns about these, because it's only the rim that's holding them on, and some of them it's only half the rim, is I have a bit of a belly, and when I slip this under my stomach and I sit down, I'm afraid that I'm going to pop the first row of balls off, and then that's it for that con. I was concerned about that with my original belt buckle, and I was just worried that anything that I put on there would tear off when I attached it to my belt and I sat down because of my stomach. And to get around that, I actually did this little rig up. And that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry that this was a longer video and that the other belt buckle got destroyed. I spray painted them with some black just to see how they would cover, and they actually covered fairly well. So if you get coarse bouncy balls, you wouldn't have to worry about sanding them first. They're good for painting right away. But if you get like very smooth texture on them, make sure you sand them first. And if you want to make a TNG style one, here is mine. Destroyed a little bit by Dax as well, but it's minor damage that I probably would just put some weathering on just to make, and keep on using this one. As you can see, the main difference is that's cut in a different shape. The balls are a little bit, I cut off a third of them opposed to just half. And I put this border around it. I wish my wood fill would have done a little bit better job hiding the seams, but for the most part I think this is my best one so far. Stay tuned, I got another video coming out where I'm going to be making a mechlith, and I hope this encourages you to make something. And if you got a simple Klingon prop, make a video about it. Make sure you're in your Klingon persona and your prop has to be Klingon related. Then send an email to KAGPodcast@kag.org and direct it towards Juvan, and I will work with you to help you get up there, whether you just have questions about rules getting up onto the KAG YouTube page, or you have a video that you would like to get on there, whether I actually upload it onto the page or just link it in a playlist. I can do either, but I was hoping that we could get some more tutorials up. Thank you for watching, and remain Klingon.